And stop making gross noises.
It wasn't gross. I was expressing myself. It's art. It's It's a cappella EDM.
That's probably the worst genre ever created.
A cappella EDM.
Yes. It's two bad genres combined.
You don't like a cappella?
I mean, it really depends on the song, but generally, not really.
I gotta show you some a cappella people, though.
No, don't. I don't care.
Yes, you do.
I've heard good ones before. You're not gonna convince me that I like something good.
Holy crap.
I just don't like the majority of it because it's just generally it's like, yeah, you sang a song.
A cappella EDM,
but
why does that exist?
Mostly I associate it with Glee.
That's
why.
Gross.
Okay, now do you realize why?
I listen to a cappella metal.
I don't know how that works, and I don't want you to show me.
Yes, you do.
But I believe you.
I will show you after.
I don't want you to show me. Anyway, what's this tea we're drinking?
You tell us?
Yeah. You tell us, Nick.
On your third strike.
Third strike for what?
Getting this right.
I got it right the first time. I just didn't say it was green tea. So it's green tea.
Okay, and?
I asked you.
And we're asking you, because you're the one that was holding the bag and did all the pouring. What is this tea?
It's citrus...
Oh,
now you've got me all
Strike
confused.
3.
You got me all confused. Citrus mint.
Citrus mint green. This is a tea we don't sell at the moment. This is one of the sample teas we are considering. And so what do y'all think about it?
Again, this is Sample Fest. Row.
This tea, to me, like other teas call for like smoky action characters. I drink this tea, and my left eyebrow raises, and I go, "Old ladies."
What?
Yeah, what?
Because it's not like ladies. This is an old lady tea, and I really like it. But
I kind of see what you mean.
This is like, something that you give your grandma who's tired of Earl Grey.
Oh, my son's secret flu recipe.
Yeah, sure.
No.
Yeah, it's a wonderful flavor. But I know why. Because you can't sweeten this. Like you can put honey in this, but only a tiny bit, and it's not like Pinkie Pie's laughter. You could just load up halfway with sugar, and it would be fine. Like that's what I guarantee people are going to be drinking.
I guarantee
cherry
people
green
will be disappointed with that.
Cherry green you can load up with sugar or honey, and it'd be fine. This one you could slightly sweeten, but it's just basically to coat your throat.
What if it was iced?
Let me see.
I think it would be good iced.
I mean, would you want to sweeten it when it's ice? Because this feels like if it was ice, you want to add more sweetener for some reason.
Same thing, just a bit.
For me, the answer to that question is always no. Unless it's black tea.
I'll try a bunch of things different ways, but I don't think I would like this heavily sweetened. I would maybe put a little bit of honey or liquid sweetener in it, but not a lot. Like a teaspoon or a tablespoon maybe for a big cup.
A tablespoon?
For a big cup?
That's a lot.
If it's pure sugar, but it's, half water, half sugar.
No, this is definitely something...
I put, one of those... since Tivana doesn't exist anymore, they used to sell, the German rock sugar.
Yeah.
And,
but those go into... So
I guess my mom got it as a Christmas present, because she would never buy it. But... we have one of those from 10 years ago, and they're still in there, and it's probably just one giant congealed cube, but I'll put one piece of that in black tea,
one
and
cube.
That's
right.
Not one giant congealed cube.
No, one regular size cube.
One crystal.
One crystal.
They're not in
they're in squares.
sugar cubes. cubes.
Supposed to be.
No, they're in.
Oh,
they're in,
you're talking those
no, they're
little
in
diamond
like
type
meth
things.
crystals.
Yeah, okay. I was imagining the licks, the cube licks.
No. They're in drug form, and no, you just put one of those in, and that's like all you need for black tea.
You don't need any.
Right. But that's all that
That's all that you'll take.
all that I need. Because I don't really like black tea, and a lot of times it's like, you know...
That was herbal tea you didn't like.
Herbal tea, a lot of the times, it's just like, it all feels the same to me. So that's why I don't like it, but I'll still drink it.
I like to experiment with these things, and a lot of them, I can at least tell. People like sweet, because that's the culture. People like Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper... Not so much Dr. Pepper, I guess, unless you're cultured.
I demand, by the way, that we make that Dr. Pepper tea we were thinking about.
I agree. That one would be one that would be, I could see heavily sweetened, though.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying.
That can't not be sweet.
So
with all those flavors, those, what is it, 31, 21, I don't know.
Baskin Robbins?
No, Dr. Pepper, it's like Dr. Pepper's 21 flavors or something. Since 1849.
Well, anyway, a lot of them, there's only a few teas, so like Margaret's Hope. Almost everyone's had an incarnation of that. It's like an estate tea. That one is okay with cream, and if you put sugar in, not much. Like after you put like more than a cube of sugar in, it ruins the flavor. Like, you can no longer really taste it. It's like all kids that drink coffee because they know that cool kids drink coffee. They add like half sugar, half milk, and then like a tablespoon of coffee.
Yeah.
It tastes like that. And like, if you're into that sort of thing, sure, but you're not, like, you could care less if you get Kona coffee or like instant coffee. It's just, you're drinking coffee. In the same way with tea, it doesn't matter if you get like an estate first flush.
You've made it into the goth
or
club.
Lipton.
So it's okay.
Yeah. And Lipton you kind of want to ruin the flavor of. But yeah, this one you couldn't add a lot of sugar and still get it.
I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're all here.
All right. So I'm the tea man. That's the tea guy. Wait, no, that's the tea guy.
And I'm Oni-John.
You didn't have to correct yourself. No one can see you but us.
Now they know you were wrong.
Yeah, but now everyone knows that you are wrong.
I'm honest to a fault. And that is the tea
true.
fellow.
That's me.
So I'm the tea man, otherwise known as Aniki.
Nobody calls you that except yourself.
I'll take it.
Which doesn't count, since only other people can call you that.
The tea guy is Oni-John.
Mm-hmm.
And the tea fellow is Senpai.
No, yay!
No, I'm just Nick.
Finally written to canon.
So what other types of fun new stuff do we have going on? Besides, well, I still can't talk about it. We have developments in the works. But until I sign a few things, I can't talk about it. Yeah. So, stay tuned for that.
As Senpai looks at the news, I was just talking about the trailer for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the crimes of Grindelwald. And although he's an English actor, whatever his name is, he looks like an Irish James Bond figure who plays Dumbledore, which was not exactly how I imagined Dumbledore in his younger years.
I don't understand.
It looks cool.
What's an Irish James Bond look like?
Google image Crimes of Grindelwald Dumbledore or Fantastic Beasts Dumbledore.
I don't want to. I don't have that kind of effort.
Is it this guy?
Yeah, Jude Law.
Oh, really?
That's supposed to be Dumbledore?
Yes.
I don't see a Dumbledore in this.
They put him...
see an Irish James Bond,
but no Dumbledore.
They put him next to the second.
I don't think Jude Law is Irish.
He's not. He's English. But he looks to me and acts just for some reason. I've seen him for 30 seconds on screen. And he just, to me, that's what he comes off as. And it's not necessarily bad. It's just different. And it looks like it'll be lots of fun to watch because they try to make the trailer like really gritty and real. Like the people apparate into Hogwarts, which they shouldn't be able to do. And then they're going to go see Professor Dumbledore because he's not the headmaster yet. They're like, Professor, we've heard that Newt Scamander is in Paris. And we know he's there under your orders. And Dumbledore's just like, well, obviously you've never had the opportunity to teach Newt Scamander. If you had, you'd know that he's not good at following orders. He's just like, calm under pressure, Dumbledore. Growing his beard, Dumbledore.
And they're not going to make him explicitly gay in this movie.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to get around that. Like, you have Dumbledore in the movie, you have Grindelwald in the movie. The only reason we know he's gay is because he had relations with Grindelwald. Like, how are they just going to dance around that for an hour and a half?
It's almost like it's a kid's movie.
Yeah, but, still, people date in kids' movies, and you at least see it on the screen.
No, but John, it's important to let people know that he's gay after the fact.
Yes.
Outside of the books, where you can actually say that, and it's 2018.
It is 2018, which is why he should be like...
It's okay for that to happen.
He should dress like Prince.
But not in kids' books, apparently, for some reason. It's 2018 and okay to be gay, but not for kids.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that got straightened out for me. I think... Yep. I think that he should dress like Prince and, like, swivel his hips or something.
I think he should just wear, like, the flamboyant robes like he always did and not a black suit like it was in that picture.
I forgot about that somehow. Because there's this, like, pre-Dumbledore that's sort of coming onto the screen. And that's what I'm thinking of now. I didn't even put them together for some reason.
Well, Dumbledore in the movies has always been kind of not Dumbledore.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do it, Harry?
Yeah, she did spend a lot of time talking about his outfit, didn't she?
Yes.
So, yeah, maybe
That's
this
how you know
is...
he was a Grand Wizard.
Is it?
No.
Yeah.
He's, okay, what are all his titles? Supreme Mugwump. There was a Grand something.
Grand Wizard.
No.
Well,
I don't want to...
Seems like I win. Grand Wizard it is.
Well, I got one right, and you got one KKK leader, so I think I win that one.
Grand Wizards existed before the KKK.
Anyway.
What do you think Merlin was, noob?
Fictional.
You're fictional.
I'm clearly right here.
So we do have the news pulled up.
If I'm fictional, so are you.
Speaking of fiction...
I stalled enough time for you to pull up the fictional news.
It was already up.
Which is not the fake news, it's just news on fiction.
Most of it, actually. Some of it isn't.
Oh, okay.
What's the first story?
Well, the first story is... Did I tell you about the Yakuza 6 demo?
Yeah.
And how big it was? It was 36 gigs.
It was the whole game. And so people managed to hack it.
Turns out, literally, yes. It was the full game. And they pulled it from the store because you could just play the whole game right there.
It's like a drug addict story. Like, I was just trying it, man.
Well, no, because if that was true, then at some point it would be like, oh, hey, you've played 36 hours. Do you want to continue?
I like the comments on that. Like, some people just had to go and ruin it for all of us.
What the hell were they thinking, just making the whole game for the demo?
Well, to be fair, most of the game...
That phrase.
Well, I haven't been following this because spoilers everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, because it's been out in Japan for like 8 months or something.
Japan, yeah.
Whatever. And in other games, like some of them, it's all in one like 6-block radius, so that's a pretty dense game, and like there's a ton of stuff to do. And then others, it's like you're in 4 different cities. So depending on how they take it, that literally could be the demo could just be the entire game. But like most of it's like cutscenes and stuff probably. But if they actually included all of the pre-rendered cutscenes in the demo, that's pretty bad.
Mm-hmm. While you were talking, I had an idea.
Uh-oh. Yes.
So when they demo games, they should totally have it come with either a random or a bunch of, or completely open up the skins that they have, so that people get used to playing with the skins.
Skins?
Yeah, skins for like every game has a skin.
I know what you mean by skins, but like what do you
downloadable skins that you pay money for?
I know what you mean, but like what do you mean by like open them up to?
So basically, make them free so that people play with the skins and get used to playing with the skins, and then that when they start playing the game, they'll be more likely to buy them.
For the demo.
Oh.
Yeah, and meanwhile, it's the demo. It's just all in good fun.
Like you just get a couple random skins that you'll have like a timed amount for or something.
Like for as long as you play the demo, you can use the skins.
Play it in the demo.
Yeah, and then when you get the real game, it's just like, oh, okay, well,
no, I need it.
Yeah,
I need that.
Well,
you're
just used to it. It's just like, well, because I got used to the pixel being right here before I trigger my next move, and it's not the same, man. But it would also just be fun for the audience. Like, it's just an extra reason to pick up the demo game.
Yeah. What else?
You tell me.
Well, you tell me. You were talking about this anime that you wanted to watch.
Oh, the 4 guys running a tea shop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are a sausage fest.
Your ideal show.
So yeah, well, I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know how good it'll be.
It's not out yet.
Can we pause and talk about that for a minute?
I think that's what we're doing.
I mean, like this, and then also how he's finding all the nerdy bars now and everything else, and the One Piece cafe and the Pokemon cafe.
You mean those things that have existed in Japan for like 20 years and
Japania?
And why do you keep saying that?
Because it's Japania. And a lot of those things were also in the States, which pisses me off. As far as I'm aware,
the newer ones are, but the ones in Japan, they've been there forever.
You've been there forever. And just, like, this whole thing has been, like, my damn thing I've been thinking of since, like, 2010 and working on it.
Oh, you should have copyrighted that idea.
I'm going to copyright your face. I win.
We're better than this.
No, we're not. No, we are not.
No,
so,
we are better than
4
this.
dudes running a tea shop. I will give
all
a
they
hint.
say, the most of the dialogue is "no you."
I'll give a hint about what's to
Kisamada.
come with us. Is it's a very interesting time for this to start airing now. I'll just leave it at that, and hopefully soon I can give you some news. What else we got? The reason I saw that is because I saw some of the stuff that's going to be coming out next season, and there is a bunch of stuff I want to check out. That's going to be...
Next season's going to be great.
Yeah.
By the way, you have about 4 weeks to watch Steins Gate.
Do I have to? Well,
yes.
I like it.
Yes, you will.
You will after episode 10.
You do have to, and you will like it.
I'll like it after episode 10.
Is it on
the Crunchyrolls?
Yes.
Does it have various incarnations? Or
it has sub and dub.
I mean, like, is there like Steins... Because now Steins Gate 0 is coming out. Is there like a Steins Gate...
Oh, like a Fate Zero? No.
I think
did they pull a Fate?
I think there's
I've only seen
a movie and a couple OVAs, but you don't need to watch those... Right?
I don't think I've seen anything besides the show.
Yeah, you don't need to watch anything else.
I love Okabe.
Alright, so what else we got going on?
Psycho-Pass movies coming out, trilogy.
I have not even seen the second season. So.
January 2019. I haven't either.
I haven't. Why did they make another season?
That's my feeling for this movie. Like Psycho-Pass was like such a
it
good
ended
like
pretty solidly.
Yeah. So I don't know.
First season.
Is this next season when the Code Geass is coming out?
Summer or fall?
I don't think so.
So
Okay.
no.
I'm still nervous about that.
Because they've been so quiet.
They've been so quiet.
Yeah.
I'm just nervous because that was like the best ending to an anime ever.
Yeah.
And now it's not the ending. What?
It was one of the best endings.
We can give the GT feel if it's not good.
Yeah.
Well, it's GT. It's alternate universe.
That never
I
happened.
don't want to have to do that.
I know. Jessica Jones Seasons 2 coming out March 8th, which was last week.
Mm-hmm. I don't... Still not a fan of most of those shows.
Most of them?
Yeah.
You mean the Marvel shows?
Yeah, the Marvel Netflix shows. I like...
What did you watch?
All of them. The only ones I liked was Daredevil, Punisher, and the Avengers. But
You mean Defenders?
Whatever. But Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, I did not really care for them that much. I wouldn't call them bad, but I got bored.
Yeah, they're not really your style.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough action.
It wasn't the action's fault. I talked about this before, but just Luke Cage, I think it was like episode 9.
There were way too many black people in that for you.
Not the angle I was going for.
I think there was only one person in that you could like kind of relate to.
No. Was there a white person in the show? I don't even remember.
Shades, the guy with the glasses.
No, but it was around episode 9, which I began to get like visibly annoyed at how much they were trying to showcase the fact that he was bulletproof.
It actually got better after that.
After the 9th episode?
Yeah, that's when he started getting hurt.
Yeah, no, I saw past that point.
Oh, you watched the whole thing?
But it's just the fact that, like, I don't need another 45-second clip of him being shot over and over again.
Yeah.
Every episode, at least, like, 5 minutes of the show is just him getting shot, then him being like, bullets don't hurt me. After, like, the 50th time, it got old. And that was episode 1.
Yeah.
That's really what it was.
I wish there was a little bit more to his character, to the action scenes than you shot me.
Yeah, and then all the characters had
a lot.
Luke Cage has a sense of deepness, but like all the other characters just felt like shallow, trying to be deep, but because of it, they ended up being even more shallow.
Yeah, Jessica Jones I think was the worst.
Oh, I'm still talking about Luke Cage. I'm talking about all the non-Luke Cage people in that show. Like, the man and the woman who was like a congressperson, and the guy who was running like a drug thing. I don't even remember anymore, but it was just shadiness. Yeah, they were boring. That's the best way to put it. It's like, yeah, you're the bad guy. I mean, they're trying to give you some kind of angle of why we should care, but you're just generic bad guy. I think the problem was they went into their backstories at like 80% of the way through the show. Oh, I remember the backstories as well. I got that far. Both of them, I was like 2 episodes away from finishing it. Where I'm just like, nope. Because Jessica Jones, I got to the part where he was about to be freed by the lawyer lady and mind control her when he was captured already. Mm-hmm. And he was all like, bitches, huh? And by that point, that was just like... That was so transparent, I just could not even anymore. Do you notice who I'm talking about?
When was that?
By he, you mean David Tennant? Yes. He was captured and behind the glass where there was like no, there was sound, but he couldn't control people. Why was that? I don't even remember. I think his powers were getting stronger. I don't know. There was some plot, no jutsu. No, but what was going to happen? I didn't even get to the scene because I knew what was going to happen was he knew something because the lawyer lady was going through a divorce. and he was gonna either like help her or something along those lines. And they're just like, you have a psychopathic maniac captured back here that proves all of what Jessica's been saying to you for like a year now. And because of your shitty little divorce, you're gonna let him go because he said he's gonna help you?
Her divorce, and then also her unwillingness to be wrong. Like, she was super alpha. She didn't care if the world would burn if she, like, had a good record.
Yeah,
something like that. I don't even remember what happened, but he did get out. No surprises.
Yeah.
And I forget what kind of shenanigans were pulled. I think that she, if I'm not mistaken, there was some sort of weird, stupid thing where she went to confront him to, say, well, no, I've changed. And then there were, like, crossed lines, and so they tried to stop her from doing it when she wasn't, and then they shot him free or some stupid thing. I forget what it was, but yeah, the ending of it was
kind of
good.
Unsatisfying.
Yeah.
I saw the ending of where she broke his neck. Why was she not under his control?
Because stuff.
It's kind of like antibodies. She had been exposed to him for so long, so the reason that he liked her in the first place is because she stood up to him once.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, that's new. And, like, with everybody else, he really didn't know sometimes if he was controlling them or not, and he's just like, well, she stood up to me, and so there was sort of like the power trip of being in charge, but then also like, well, if she really didn't want it, she can stand up to me.
Oh, that must be the ultimate torture. A submissive who controls people.
Yeah, it's
found my dom.
Yeah. That was kind of his character. And then so
tell me a bad boy, but because I've been bad, not because I told you.
and so that was Jessica Jones. Like, the whole season is just like, she remembered mostly just being under his control and like not being able to do anything for years at a time. And everyone else is like, no, you got away. You're able to break the spell. You can do it again. And so then, he tried to bring her under his spell, and it was sort of like, it was like a Tourette's compulsion,
mm-hmm.
where she was compelled to do it, but she knew that she could stop it, and so she went along with everything he said until she found an opening and just whammoed, killed him.
I managed to completely forget about the Iron Fist, even though I actually did like that one. A lot of people didn't, and I do agree that the action scenes were obviously rushed. They just wanted to finish that so they can move on to the Defenders, which is really annoying. But if they do a season 2 of the Iron Fist, and actually put time in it, I think it'd be really good. There's a lot of good stuff in that show.
I'm conflicted about that one, because I didn't like the whole business subplot. And like, they kept going back and forth between I'm a real boy and I'm the Iron Fist, and like, I don't know, it was kind of it's like every episode it was like a coin toss whether it would be good or not.
You just maxed there were so many Asians in it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Did anyone see Black Panther?
No.
Yeah.
It's a Marvel movie. I've seen one, so I know exactly how it goes.
There weren't any white people in it, so we couldn't associate with anyone.
No, we couldn't.
Yeah, no.
Wasn't I barred from seeing it the first night?
Yeah. You took up a black person's spot, so you had to leave.
Okay. That's what happened.
But seriously, though, that's
movie.
There were so many dumb ideas surrounding that movie, which is why I'm making these jokes. Like, everybody needs to see it because it's finally a black superhero movie, but not white people because they're taking up black people's spots, but see it anyway because otherwise you won't understand the black people's lives. But shut up, no, everyone's wrong, and if you don't see it, you're a Nazi, and you have to give it a good rating on Rotten Tomatoes, otherwise you're racist, but the only reason it has a good rating is because you're racist. everything about it is like, just shut up and like give it a, just treat it like a movie, please.
Yeah,
we need another Rush Hour.
I was kind of, oh my god,
that'll fix everything.
Yeah,
Jackie
Chan, come back to us,
or Lethal Weapon, but not with Mel Gibson.
No, I changed my mind. Jackie Chan, don't come back. Just retire. I don't want to see you falling down more stairs.
Yeah, that was painful. That hurt to watch. I could feel him getting hurt.
Yeah. Speaking of things that hurt.
Yes, Valve has several games in development. This is an announcement. The game developers are developing games. Not Half-Life 3, though.
Why haven't people just given up on that?
I have.
Okay. Because it seems... dumb is not the right word. Pathetic? No, it's a little too harsh.
It is pathetic.
It's like,
Let's see, has it been... I think it's been longer than Duke Nukem Forever at this point.
Mm-hmm. And we saw how Duke Nukem Forever ended up.
Well, I think one of the problems with that is that they changed developers so many times that it ended up being a huge mess of chaos.
Yeah, the first level was just a mishmash of all the various first levels they wanted to do.
It was kind of like that Aliens game.
That one. Yeah.
Colonial Marines or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it just got shifted from company to company to company, and it only was in development for like, a couple of years. But because they had that basketball of game, and it was being passed around so many times, it ended up just being like this horrible mess that was like nothing at all like what they were showing off at trailers and stuff. And it was just a terrible game.
Speaking of things they were showing off, they announced Smash Brothers for the Switch.
Yeah.
They did not do it at E3, that was a surprise, because usually those big, giant, oh my god, announcements are done at E3, not like some generic...
Nintendo's kind of like separated itself from E3.
I can kind of understand why. E3's kind of given them a screw job a couple of years.
E3 has become less and less of a thing, and now everybody's just doing it on their own. The only people that are kind of still in with E3 are the sucky publishers like Activision, Ubisoft, and not E3, EA, because like they still don't know how to connect with people. Like they're still living 10 years ago. So they're doing these huge elaborate shows and wasting all kinds of money that could be spent maybe, I don't know, elsewhere. Who knows? And like nobody's enjoying it. And like, they're like bringing like, they have dance shows and like they're just like, hey, look, here's a car. Don't you like Porsches? And like all the nerds are just like, no, I take the bus. And it's just so like they don't know their audience at all. But speaking of knowing their audience, I think it was this year, Devolver did a really good show of their own. It was pre-recorded. And they basically parodied like the state of all those kinds of huge elaborate shows. And they used like obviously clip show montage footage of audiences clapping and like people with like movie theater cups from the 70s with like huge straws and stuff. And they had a couple game announcements, and it's like the main lady was like, this is gonna be the best biggest, hugest, most impressive, awesomest, violentest, goriest, best ass, biggest money game ever. And then, like, they show their game, and, like, half their games are just, like, pixel art games. It's hilarious. And, so then they show the trailer, then they come back, and they show the same, like, clip of, like, 3 people, drinking from the straw, and, like, as each game is announced, she's, like, yelling harder and harder about how good each game is going to be. And at some point, like, her eyes start bleeding because she's so excited about how good the next game is going to be. You have to watch it. It's great.
This actually happened?
She
didn't actually bleed, but, like,
okay,
that was the show.
Horrifying.
They were just basically mocking the E3 way of doing things.
Yeah, it's like, hey guys, this is really hype. And then
it's really hard to parody them. Like, I've seen the times where they start to, like, yes, you've waited for it, and here it is.
Skyrim card game.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's a real thing.
Right!
That's a real thing.
The O's from the crowd was so delicious.
Like,
oh!
disappoint?
Yeah. It was so upset. Did Valve even, like,
I know the whatever Valve's card game was a huge disappointment, but
huge.
I don't think I watched the announcement for the Elder Scrolls card game.
Yeah. Did Valve even announce any specific titles, or they just say, we're developing games?
They just said mostly we're developing games. They mentioned the Dota one, the Dota card game, and
moving on. I don't even...
And one other, it was like a Portal thing, it was like Portal Truck Builder or something.
Moving on.
They announced it a while ago, and we talked about it, and I was like, glad this is happening.
Yeah.
Very sarcastically. Everything else is VR.
I've lost my care.
Me too.
What else do we have?
We got Dragon Ball Super will continue, so it's basically on hiatus. So yeah. That's good.
So with that, they're making a movie at the end of the year.
Oh yeah, I heard about that, but I didn't see much of it.
They're going to be delving deeper into the Saiyans and what it really means to be one. The connection with Frieza before Frieza blew up the planet, and the villain. I think they're going to be pulling a similar thing they did with Battle of God / Super, where the movie is going to lead directly into the continuation of Super, where the villain is going to be a continuous.
Lead into it, or they're just gonna start off as like, here's the movie but slower.
I think
like the opposite of what they do with a lot of movies.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lead-in. That's what I'm getting.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm hoping that it will be the bridge between them, as opposed to here's your first 2 weeks.
Click on the link because
or 4 weeks.
They're gonna like slightly change the art style, and I am actually not a fan of it. Let's see if they have a picture of it.
I'm not a fan of changing art styles.
It's show it anywhere.
Is there a picture somewhere?
There it is, right there.
Yeah, it's.
Come on, go back.
It's a video, but
it's a lot simpler.
That looks like old school. I mean,
yeah, it's like old school. It's like end of Dragon Ball, like art style.
This Goku. No, go away, sound.
Yeah, the one with the power pole.
I don't think that.
I think Goku has moved past the power pole.
I want the power pole back.
He can.
I want the power pole to have transformations.
Nick.
Okay.
Goku creates galaxies before he eats them. He doesn't need a damn pole.
No, but I want the power pole to scale with him. Okay, if it can change its length at will, I think we can get some power into the power pole. Some extra power.
But the point is, I don't want to go with the simplistic art style. It's too cartoony, too simplistic. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's always been pretty simplistic. I
But,
mean, compared to
but
everything...
it's gone even further beyond.
Compared to everything else that it's been... That's been showing at the same time that it has, it's been pretty simplistic, except for, like, you know, beams and stuff.
I don't like it.
Except for special effects.
Anything else we got going?
Well, let's see. That's pretty much everything that is in the news.
Yeah.
And in the real news, Trump. So Trump said he's meeting with members of the video game industry to discuss school safety. School safety?
Yeah, don't check the updates.
More like... I don't know why he said school safety, but it was, you know, gun violence.
Yeah, check the updates because I think he's not doing that now.
No, what happened was, he said that, and then everyone in the game industry is like, "This is the first I've heard about it," and then they heard about it, and it happened, and nothing came out of it.
Did it happen, or what does the update say?
Update 1, we've never heard about this. Update 2, there'll be the ESA, Entertainment Software Association, has confirmed it will be attendance for the meeting. It's among several representatives of the video game industry that will be there for the meeting set up by President Donald Trump on Thursday, September 8th. How long does it take to set up a meeting?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
He's going to cancel it. Because he's already backtracking on all the gun control stuff already, so by the time this comes around, he's going to say, screw it. So that's about it.
Which he should, because, like, first he was talking about
He was appeasing the normies. That's what he was doing.
First he was talking about the video games, then he was talking about, we need less violence in movies. So I just find it hilarious that he's talking about, like, just everything.
I'm pretty sure he was just saying crap to appease the normies. Because now that things have calmed down a little bit, he's gone back to, you know what? No. So, yeah. So that's it for...
What specifically about gun control did he back down on?
He's back down on bump stocks. He's back down on... what were the other stuff? Basically, looking into stricter regulations for AR-15 or stuff like that.
Why are people so obsessed with AR-15s?
Because that sounds like a scary name. They think AR stands for assault rifle.
Yeah.
The normies, they should not have a say in this. But yeah, that's real world stuff. We're here to be losers, so... I think that's it for the loser talk. Right?
Yeah.
Alright, in that case, join us for the second infusion where we talk about 1 to 2 weeks worth of episodes of stuff.
Yay, stuff. Raise your hand if you have devoured a god. Oh yeah? What god have you devoured?
The god of my soul.
That doesn't make sense.
Maybe not to you, human.
Yeah. Okay. Well, whenever you two are done with your phone...
You're the one that just started recording out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Well, I was ready.
No 3, no 2, no 1.
3, 2, 1,
Your screen's
go.
red.
My screen is red?
Yeah, looks like a coup.
That's the background.
Mm-hmm.
You're the background.
Of the screen.
It looks like a coup?
I don't know. Looks like you could be behind that.
That's Kamina.
You're Kamina.
I'm Kamina?
Mm-hmm. You're dead by episode 8.
Oh.
It's the second infusion, so we can talk about spoilers.
I don't know about that one.
That did spoil the show.
That ruined the show.
Take that.
Spoiled.
Let us begin with Record of Grancrest War, because I have just lost the plot.
Me too. Was it just a battle? Like, was that episode just like let's have battles.
I don't know. I'm just
So start with the first episode that we missed.
Okay, 2 weeks ago.
Sex.
That was about it, really. They contrasted the main character and the main antagonist, because the main character and his mage had that like romantic camping outing, whatever the hell they did. And then the main antagonist was like, rape me.
Even if it's just for one night, I shall conquer you.
Like, that was just, it was all kinds of uncomfortable.
Those angles and scenes of the guy just...
Well, and then the next episode, she had PTSD. Like, she's in the middle of a battle and she hears, I don't need to hear this! You did this to me in the last friggin' episode! But yeah, but through that, she gained a powerful ally. Like, he's ridiculous. Send in the massive cannon, it doesn't matter.
Killed his daddy and now is taking over the kingdom.
I would like to just dedicate a moment to whatever the fuck they did with that one. You can bleep that out, right?
Just go with it.
Okay. That one stage guy.
Stage guy?
Yeah, the guy that looks like the cool warrior that is loyal to the main character, but he was just like, the stage is about to be set. You are all the invincible warriors.
Oh.
What if I die? Then you didn't matter.
That was amusing. They just introduced that guy and let him die.
Yeah,
Just,
and
okay.
what was that? Like, it would have been so much cooler if we were able to see him, because he looked like he was a really pretty adept warrior, like on par with the guy that was cool, that he looks like.
On par with the guy that was cool. Oh my god.
I thought it was him. Like, I thought that he had like a crisis of identity at some point after gaining. But it wasn't him, and he was defeated, and it was mildly surprising. I don't know what that was. Just a very strange angle.
Yeah.
Like, okay, he was defeated, and then they called in that one lady with the battleship, who's apparently on, let's say, our side.
Yeah, so was it Battleship City?
Yeah.
It seemed like the entire place was just one, like, moving fortress.
Yeah, I think
ship.
that's what they called it. It was like the floating city or the floating fortress or something.
That sounds cool.
It's like, yeah, it was.
I want to
Man, that
see
thing was
that.
massive.
Huge.
But then we didn't see that, right?
Yeah, we did. That was the thing with the big cannon that she was
Oh.
on. She's like, well, we really only need one ship. Like, they should have brought more, but fine. They shot the big cannon at
Okay, so they do have more than one
at the
ship.
rapist. Let's call him the rapist now. Let's call him the, I want to find something that rhymes with hamburglar.
What?
I don't know why.
I'm just going with the Muslim. He's clearly based off a Middle Eastern person.
The
Everything down to like his
burglar.
dress, his skin tone, his bloodthirst.
Yeah,
His
he
need
just
to rape
murdered his
white
dad.
women.
Anybody that couldn't see his son killing him doesn't deserve life. But yeah, it was just a bunch of battles. They're sort of setting the groundworks for the what's the lusty lord's name, real name?
It began with an E.
Villar,
Villar, I think
something like
sounds
that.
right.
What was it with an E?
They're setting the stage for him to at least situationally be almost as awesome as the Hamburglar.
I'm thinking he's going to
Stop
die.
that.
I'm thinking he's going to die and Theo's going to take over.
Maybe.
That's what's going to happen eventually. Because I mean, like going back to the first episode that we didn't talk about. There's no secret that they are just utterly contrasting the cousin of Villar to the main character.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to wind up on the opposite sides of the field. You know, they're going to be the two sides that really matter. And so, yeah, he's probably only destined for this world for so much longer. But it's going to be awesome. And he's
going to go out swinging.
And he might take that guy with him. He's going to do something neat. I don't know what it is, and I don't know where his strengths are. I don't know if he's... What?
What is this, the 90s?
It's going to be
Yes.
totally...
Tubular?
Swell?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
Radical. All right, so yeah, what all those
Julian, you're like 2 decades ahead of what you should be.
Radical?
Yeah, neat and swell. Those are 50s.
I don't know. No, Rugrats used neat all the time. They were a 90s show.
Sure.
Anyway,
Prove myself right. So yeah, we're all a little bit confused. Hopefully, the next few episodes will be a little bit more sensible. We can follow along.
so I did some research, some lazy research, and I found out that it was based on light novels, which is always a good sign for anime, and a tabletop RPG game.
Well then,
which confused me a lot.
I mean, oh, there you go.
But also kind of makes sense because we just had an episode where all that happened was battles, and
it made no sense to someone watching on the outside.
Yeah, no, don't get any of it.
From a character standpoint, the only thing that happened that seemed good was that the lusty lord kind of was able to adapt on the fly for losing like his bishop, the Hamburglar. Like he was this major player on his side, and he's like, yeah, there was always the chance of him going rogue, and he changes the course of battlefields, and now I got to deal with it. He saw it coming. His ships were off in the distance.
He saw it coming from the beginning.
Sure, I mean presumably, but you to expect there'd be more to it than you send him on a mission and he comes back a bad guy.
Yeah,
I guess that's how he did it. But anyways,
you'd at least, you should expect the consideration of betrayal face to face.
Yeah, but he saw their ships coming, and he's just like, wait a second, something isn't right. I'm going to go out there. He met somebody that he kind of wrote to for aid, and luckily she was there, and he had that weird mirror thing.
That was her, or his former servant person, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't recognize her for some reason.
Yeah,
because she wasn't dressed all slutty.
That's why.
She was dressed. She was head to toe in clothing. Not even her ankles were showing.
Speaking of things that are slutty, place further in the universe.
Really?
Yeah. We'll do one episode at a time, but I gotta say, this might be the very first show I decide to read lesbian fanfiction on. Because,
oh my god,
goddamn. I mean, how much more implications do you need of stuff?
I think this is one of the least implicated shows of
most innocent.
that genre.
Alright, we'll begin with some corrections. So, I said last time that the email was from
the dead mother.
The dead mother. And the reason I made the mistake is that her name and the name of the idol's mother are very, very close. They're like 2 letters off. One's Shirase and the other one's like Shiraise. Like
Shiraishi.
Yeah. So
also,
my bad on that.
Also, the dead mother is also Shirase, and the name of the ship is Shirase. I thought of that later after I talked to you about that.
Are you Shirase?
Are you the boat?
Are you serious? Are you serious?
I saw what you did there. So maybe the boat was emailing. I don't know. That was
quick
weird.
genre shop.
Like the idol being all like, are we friends? Let's sign the contract. That was. It came out a little bit out of left field, even for this show. Yeah, it felt kind of put in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think both of the last two seemed like that. The second episode, not as much, but they kind of rehashed old, like stuff that they already went over, and it's like, okay, this character is kind of like, this is the reason they're kind of acting this way. And okay, yeah, now we're all friends, and now this problem's been solved with your personality, and then like we're just back to square one.
But I mean,
only worse.
the last episode. Take off your gloves so I can put your hand across my face. Let's hug and cry. There's gonna be a multitude of fan fictions written about these characters, and you know it.
It's like that with every
Gonna,
four girls do a thing show.
It's gonna take it to a whole new level.
No, I think this is actually pretty understated compared to usual.
I don't really watch the Four Girls Do a Thing show, so I don't...
Neither do I, but I still know... I've still seen...
I don't watch it. I don't read the fan fiction.
I've still seen the clip of "Let me eat your strawberry."
Oh, the one where they just ate one, the other girl just cried?
Yeah.
There was no implication in that.
There's no implication in anywhere of this. There's more implication in that scene than the other ones. Or in this.
I mean more deep implications, not the shallow stuff.
Yeah, so I'm going to go back to the episode we were first talking about.
No!
The first episode, the Let's Sign a Contract, I felt fit better because, well, first of all, the trip to Antarctica, that only took 3 episodes?
It was 3 episodes before they sort of got approved.
That should have been one of the last episodes they had before arriving in Antarctica. You know,
which
the one where we should sign a contract because we're friends.
Yeah, that would have made more sense if it was a bit sooner down the line.
Because it should have been late because they're showing that, like, up until that point they'd always been engaged in some sort of work in general.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have much time to themselves, and someone that hadn't really had any friends before, like, there was no defining moment of friendship, right? Like, it wasn't like a... What are those dramas on TV? The
soap opera?
Novellas? There was no, like...
Cries in Spanish.
Yeah, there was no... Yeah, no, they didn't cry all together really much. There was no, they were all sick
There was
ones.
no drama. There was just work and crisis.
Yeah. And there's no stop button. We're like, that's the moment that they became friends. And so she's like, oh, it's just not going to happen. And we're running out of time. Like, we're already here. And that's what spurred her to action. Like, I'm going to be working as soon as I get back. I have to do something. And so that was what sort of spurred her into action. But it should have happened earlier.
But, like, there were a lot of moments where it's like, you're not necessarily doing anything, or you're not necessarily idle, but you're still doing things together as friends. And I know that like the core of the idea is, she's kind of antisocial or socially awkward. That's the reason that she came up with it. But still, like, they already did the, she's kind of clueless about that arc.
Well,
it wasn't even an arc. It was just an episode. And, like, okay, they were sitting in the diner, and she's like, "Oh, I envy you guys. You're all best friends." And then they're kind of like, "Are best friends? No, not really. In fact, we've never even hung out together. We've barely even known each other a month." And then there's sort of like a shift, to that being the case, or maybe they even realize it then and there. I forget.
Yeah, so you can think of this as they'd all have friends though. They'd all had social lives, and they were in that phase within a couple weeks of knowing each other. And for them, they're like, yeah, wait, we've never really. Are we friends?
Well,
no.
Actually, not really. Antarctica girl didn't really have any friends. The main girl had just like the one friend who like kind of betrayed her at the end because she was like, "Oh, you're gonna be all independent now."
Oh, table fucker.
Yeah,
sure. And and then the convenience store girl was like,
Betrayed by your friends.
Betrayed, yeah, I guess.
What do you mean?
Which is the next episode, which is definitely a reaction to this episode, so they go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm. And I also want to say...
just like the other... But the other two episodes where they're in the restaurant and the one where she loses the passport, did they go hand in hand? I don't think so. So the during the restaurant, like that was the one that we were talking about, and then there's the one where she loses her passport.
There seemed to be less reaction.
Were they sequential, or was that like 3 episodes later or something?
I don't remember. These were the two most closely tied. Like the second one seemed like a reaction from the first one, if anything, thematically. But yeah, But the point is, all the other girls, like the Antarctica girl, she had said that she had made several friends down the road who just sort of didn't have quite the commitment to get it out to Antarctica by like 8th grade.
I'm gonna also state I love how you're struggling to say Antarctica. Now you know how I feel.
I also had T in my tongue. Antarctica. I struggle saying other things, but I can't remember what they are right now.
Vegetables?
No.
Say vegetables.
Vegetables.
Oh.
Vegetables.
Worked on it. So anyway. Picture. See? Worked on it. Yeah. So it was alright. It was a little bit long, and it should have been in a different place, but yeah, that second episode beat a drum. What you guys think of that one?
The title didn't fit. Otherwise, lots of emotions. I felt myself getting all teary-eyed at several points. Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Yeah?
I think it was just rehashing things that have already been kind of solved.
No, we didn't know she was betrayed by her friends. We didn't know
Stop interrupting me!
Well, maybe if you didn't do that thing, yeah.
As I was saying, they were kind of rehashing old things.
I don't know if that's what they were doing.
I have a cup of hot tea, and I'm willing to throw it at you.
I'm thirsty. At this point.
Well, then drink your tea.
I'm done.
I wasn't talking to you.
Good.
Anyway, as I was saying...
Go on.
If you interrupt me, I swear to God, there will be violence.
That's hot.
They kind of rehashed old things.
The one that you ate?
But they added some more info to it. So it's like you kind of have an idea of why it was that she's kind of like crazy. Like, that's how I would put it. Like, in the episode where she loses her passport, it's just like, what is wrong with you? What is actually wrong with you? And, like, now you can kind of see why, but it's like... okay. I mean, that explains some things, but you could have... Like, from a storytelling point of view, it's just all kind of chopped up and things are in the wrong places.
Yeah. No, though that's a pretty decent lead into Tonkotsu de Ramen.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that being betrayed by your friends, but being in the right place in this episode, it starts off with a stupid. Well, it starts off in violence, but it starts off really with a stupid game of baseball. And then the main character has some PTSD about killing his friend.
Yeah, I like that. Or wait, what was the episode before that?
The episode before was the wrapping up of the saga of the computer guy.
Yeah,
I don't remember that one.
You don't?
Is that the one where they
maybe I skipped it.
Where the wig was involved?
Yes.
Okay.
That's one where they did the old switcheroo between...
Okay, you definitely... If you don't know what I'm talking about, you definitely didn't see it. But it was really cool, so watch it.
Oh.
Yeah. So maybe. I guess we'll leave it alone for John.
No, it's spoiler time.
It was really complicated, so I don't even remember how to explain it. That's why you should watch it.
All right,
It was cool. That's all. That's my opinion. It was cool and fun, and the kind of thing that you would appreciate as a Code Geass fan.
That's all I needed to hear.
Code Geass?
No.
Alright. So we'll be getting ourselves a nice new little saga of the revenge of One-Eyed Willie.
Why is he alive?
I will probably find out.
That's dumb.
My guess is he was unconscious and they just threw all the bodies, like, down a ledge. Then he woke up, crawled out. That's my guess so far.
Yeah, they put them in the body pile.
But this place creates dead bodies at least by the dozens a year. You'd think they'd be able to tell the difference between a breathing body and a not dead body, or a not dead body and a dead body.
I'm guessing it was barely alive. And also, maybe it was like... So he said he knew about what the final test was, right?
My vote's Frankenstein.
Like what? Like they took the best of all the rejects and put them together
and they happen to be all within the same body.
What a twist!
We're trying to design the perfect machine-killing person, and so we'll take bits of all the best bodies that are dead, and it turns out this is the best body ever.
Just cut his head and he's good.
Yeah. So I think that because he knew about the test beforehand, and then he killed his cellmate, and he's like, okay, I win, right? And they're like, no, now you have to start over, idiot. So then he fosters this friendship in order to
stab him in the back.
In order
literally stab him in the back.
But more to the point, to get him to let his guard down, because he knows about it, but the other guy doesn't, and he's like, no, we'll use the power of friendship to escape and then kill all these guys with machine guns. So that kind of backfired on him, though, because reasons, I guess he has immunity to backstabs. So I think they were like, okay, we gave him... He kind of passed his first test on it, but we had to reject him due to a technicality. Wait, this guy's still alive after the second test. Let's just give him a pass and have him work for us.
Now, wouldn't it be a twist if he was being earnest about passing the test together, and so he found that the Romeo Juliet poison that can make him seem dead, knowing that Lynn would stab him in the back, and so now he's just trying to find him. No, buddy, I'm okay, no!
All that happened, but he's pissed off about the eye.
Yeah, you were just supposed to kill me.
My eye.
So we'll get a nice couple of episodes of hack and slash with those guys. That'll be nice and fun.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't no amateur.
That looks like it's going to be a good fight.
Yeah.
He looks like he's more capable than Lynn is.
Mm-hmm. Which is like half the cast.
Yeah.
Right, so we got that, blah, blah, blah.
I wonder when Lynn's going to get kidnapped next.
Next episode.
I'll throw in some stuff from Black Clover. So 2 episodes. I don't even know. So the first episode was kind of like a generic, let's see all of the people do the fights episode. Because they were just fighting against nameless zombies, literally.
Uh-huh.
So it was like, this is the extent of our powers, and I'm already bored. One of the things I'm gonna just blame the whole manga on is, so there's the affinities, fire, water, earth, air, but as far as I can tell,
heart.
It means nothing. Like, one person can create like a tornado of fire to block off hits. Another can create a tornado of air to block off hits.
What's a tornado of Earth?
It's a tornado of Earth that blocks off hits. Like, you see what I mean? Like, I've seen the same move used several times for different elements. So it's just like, where is the different...
Why even bother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of lame with that. But we do have a character that I like now. The captain of the Crimson Lions. He was the only one not involved in bullying from a few episodes back. And main character was in trouble. He was fighting a dude who can summon a bunch of bad things, bad undead things. He's a necromancer, so it seems like he's taken mages and he's brought him back to life and makes him a little bit more powerful. And he gives him funny names like Alfred.
Did you say Alfred?
Yes.
Like Batman Alfred?
Yes.
That's a funny name?
It is a funny name.
Okay.
I mean, you laughed.
I laughed because you thought that was a funny name.
It's a funny name. Alfredo!
Oh, in Japanese it's a funny name.
Oh, yeah.
Alfredo.
Uh-huh. And so, this Crimson Lions guy whose name is, like, his name is dumb. It's just really long and it has too many letters.
Hey, in Japanese, do you order pasta with Alfred sauce?
I will. I'm gonna do that now. And so he gave like a bunch of like
Alfredo sauce.
He gave a bunch of rousing speeches to the people fighting. The tsundere pulled like a "he's my dearest friend" thing. It was just like, that was lame. But yeah, we get to see him fight. He uses flames. I'm not gonna. The basing is, so I found out the first 6 episodes covered 4 chapters. That is the pace of this.
God.
Yeah. That's slower than DBZ, who did an episode a chapter.
Wow. That's also slower than a lot of Naruto, which did 0 episodes per chapter. Or 0 chapters per episode.
So yeah, there's a lot of like pick up the pace elements that still
Oh my god.
Still being annoying. So that's the story of that.
Why are you still watching that show? You don't like it.
No. But it's the next biggest thing in shonen anime, so someone has to.
I disagree.
But that's what Crunchyroll keeps telling me. Are you going to disagree with Crunchyroll?
Yes.
Fine. Moving on to Ancient
They
Magus
also
Bride.
like that. They also have ads for citrus.
Uh-huh.
How'd you like that?
I gave it a shot.
Not making the joke. I'm not making the joke.
Make the joke. Make the joke.
No, nothing.
Alright, so Ancient Magus Bride.
He put his money where his mouth is.
Before that,
yeah.
I watched all of Overlord.
All of it?
All of it.
Dang, how is it?
It's pretty good. So it's a trapped in an MMO kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the MMO is like the main character is part of a guild who all the characters in the guild are non-human, and it's basically
When you say non-human, do you mean NPC or?
no, they're all like not human characters.
Okay.
Like not races. So like he's a giant skull man.
Uh-huh.
He's Skeletor, and so they're gonna turn off the servers, and like most of the guild stopped playing, 10 years ago, and he's just like, hey, let's get together for good times, old time's sake, and he's just waiting for the clock to tick down. And, a couple people are there, and then they leave, and he's just like, I'm gonna wait till midnight. And midnight comes, and then he's just like, huh. And then he's stuck there. And all the NPCs, come to life, and, the world is all different, and, it's basically just, like, their guild house came to life and was transplanted into a different world, which is kind of weird because you would think that just being stuck in the MMO world would be fine, but it's in a different land entirely. So like all his money is worthless and stuff. But it's basically what if they played a chaotic evil D&D campaign? So yeah, there's a lot of fun shenanigans going on, and the world is kind of cool because magic is like really reduced, and so like a level 3 spell is like, oh man, I made it to level. I can cast a level 3 spell. I've been really training hard, and he's just like, okay, level 3, go, and they're like, oh what, and he's got like crazy like god tier items that just wreck stuff.
Is this the show that had like the mage's armor on, shield on?
Yeah, and then they do things like he's like maximize spell level 3, cast fireball. It's like so close to like an actual D&D game. It's great. I think you both would like it. The plot of the second season is kind of interesting. The first season, the first half's okay. The second half is it's just a huge boss battle. So it's like kind of cool fighting, but ultimately that's all it is. But it's well thought out, and it's like what would it be like if you had like all the time to prepare your spells and items and stuff, and then like you know everything going in, and then all your enemies' weaknesses and stuff, and so you basically go in full cockiness and just
become the Overlord.
Yes. Yeah, so
and
that's all I had to say about that.
And that's my senpai's bare bones review of Overlord.
Yeah, senpai. Bare bones.
Right. So, Ancient Magus Bride, otherwise known now as Alias Fucked Up.
Oh, yeah, he did.
What did he do now again?
Nothing.
He tried to sacrifice the little girl's life.
Oh, that's where we left it. Yeah, what were you thinking? He wasn't.
I mean, even Ruth was joining in on death.
I forgot about that. For some reason, I thought it was the sorcerer guy.
No, he was inside of her body.
Yeah, after she got knocked out.
There's every once in a while a character that the writers just go, screw them in particular. Two of the main cast are trying to kill her, and then the bad guy was inside of her. Like, man, what? She's just having a bad day. Yeah, I mean, I guess Ruth, he forgot what it's like to be human. Like, he kind of forgot what he was and who he was, and so he just cares about Chisei.
Also, he would die if Chisei died, so
yeah, so that's good. But he's also emotionally connected to her. He should have been able to tell that would have been a bad thing. Like, well, especially
I think he prioritizes her safety over anything else.
Yeah, but you could choose anybody. Her best friend.
Why didn't they just grab the main villain and sacrifice him instead?
That's kind of what I thought they were going to do.
Like, we gotta sacrifice somebody, why not this dick?
And that's kind of what seems like it's gonna happen. But yeah, I don't see their relationship, continuing on happy trails.
Yeah, actually, now I see Chisei and Joseph hooking up because they really have an eye for each other.
Ew. They did. Oh, I'm so glad that they stopped the scene where they did.
I missed that entirely.
He just plucked it out.
I'd rather have her eye back than the arm back.
Yeah, it's a little bit offsetting, isn't it?
Yeah, especially because their eyes are so good.
Yeah, he liked him too. Though, I kind of had this moment after he did it. He's looking around. He's like, "Oh man, your eyes make everything look bright and beautiful." It's really unique because we've spent so much time thinking about her, the way she was born as being a curse because she's a slay beggy.
Mm-hmm.
And it might very well have been her eyes that saved her. Everything is much brighter and shinier and nicer than it should otherwise be. That might be the string that kept her alive.
Maybe.
You know? And versus freaking David, or whatever his name is.
Joseph.
Yeah. What's some biblical name?
Yeah.
Joseph.
I don't know, some Bible stuff.
I want to know what happened with the father. He just took the baby and left.
There's a story. He was looking at that badger thing or whatever it was.
Yeah, I think he went out to like defeat it.
Yeah, or something. Protect him.
But I don't know why he took the baby with. That's weird.
It was Joseph?
Oh, that'd be a twist.
No, Joseph. His thing is he's been alive forever.
Yeah,
he just wants to die.
He threw him into a time abyss. Yeah. There's definitely a story there, and that was like, it was just really good setup because I think if you have a human heart, which most of us do, you're going to be caught in like that unraveling of her past. We got to see it with her.
Yeah, and I think one of the it was so good. She's like, wait, he's leaving. This is when he left, and like she goes after him to see what happened, and it's like, well, like, where did he go? What happened? This is the night he left. This is what changed everything, and it's just like, no, you don't remember that. You can't leave this room.
Yeah,
you don't know. You can't find out.
You tease.
That was really well set up.
It was.
That door is never going to open because it didn't happen. Yeah, it's like, and it colored everything in having that little piece of, what was his name, Joseph?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Joseph in her that, you can't, not until you're ready. And then you...
Well, I don't think it was even him. I think it was his curse.
I think it's kind of like a, what's the rhino dragon?
The rhino dragon?
Yeah, the one that she keeps talking to.
Oh. Yeah, what about
the one that died. Yeah. He's explicitly told her, this isn't me. I'm dead. I'm, like, kind of like
it's
your memory
like
of me, kind of.
A persona of him.
Yeah. I'm you. I'm the impression that a being left over on you, and you're basically using to talk to yourself.
Yeah.
And so, part curse, part that. But they wrote better than I've ever seen this arc before. You can only touch me when you're ready. And so I kind of like as the story was unfolding, I'm like, okay, how will she know when she's ready, kind of thing. But she knew exactly when she was ready. It's like, this is it. You are ready.
Yeah.
And it's like, nailed it, guys. Good work.
And now she's choking him.
We were talking about Jessica Jones earlier, in the first infusion, and so Jessica Jones, her superpower is like strength, just super strength.
Yep.
And so she deals with a lot of things, including her sexuality, in very traditionally masculine ways. And her arc and story is completely reliant upon the sort of internal feminine aspects of like psychology and feelings and what it's like to not know whether or not you wanted something, because at the time you wanted it, but she wanted it because he told her she wanted it.
Right.
And so twisting down into that like abyss, there's a feminine aspect to it, but it was very much warped with this other side. Like they didn't know how to write it. I'm continually impressed by the writing of this show because it really showcases the balance that can exist in a feminine hero myth, with the proper, so like she exerts force upon the world, right? That's in essence masculinity, but it's not twisted. The way she does it isn't usually like broken in the same way that Jessica Jones was. And I don't know exactly how.
What do you mean by broken?
So, like, Jessica Jones, she went out and, like, I'm gonna trigger you guys. Basically, think of what toxic masculinity is understood as. She did that.
Yeah.
Like, that was a lot of her character.
Yeah, she just beat people up.
She beat people up. She's like, I want to sleep with as many people as I want. And that's how she dealt with her, like, repressed sexualness. And,
right.
So she did a lot of things poorly, and really, really poorly for her health. And so, like,
and just drank all day.
Right. And so the masculine powers were just twisted in the same bad ways that guys can do it,
Yeah.
Like, it was distorted. And I think a lot of the times when people write the feminine hero stories, Xena, they take a masculine story and they give it boobs.
Uh-huh.
And they sort of did that with Jessica Jones, but they made a complex character. Here, they didn't do that. I'm continually impressed by, she is definitely a feminine heroine, and she exerts both feminine and masculine energies, but most of the time within balance. And with she's learning right now, and I'm always impressed by it. I leave the show, like, sometimes, many times, sad, but it's just like there's a certain balance that they're striking, which is just, and I've spent a lot of time, like, just sort of marveling at it and being like, okay, why is this right? And I so far haven't had a major disappointment from the writing.
Yeah, she hot.
Thank you. That's what it is. It's the red head and green eyes.
It reminds me of in many ways of a webcomic called Gunnerkrigg Court.
Mm-hmm.
Stop making faces at me. You are actively distracting me and detracting from the value of this.
Is he interrupting you again?
Yes, he is.
There was a promise of violence.
There was a promise of violence.
He puts his cup down gently. Ah! Oh man, he did it!
I am true to my word.
He stepped on my foot!
Anyway.
Mom!
Anyway, so the story is there's this girl who is in a school called Gunnerkrigg Court, and it's kind of like the technology version of Hogwarts, maybe.
Okay.
And across this, like, really long bridge that's, like, the only way across this trench, there's a forest. And things happen, and she makes her way into the forest. And everything in the forest is, like, super magical, natural, kind of, like, more to the feminine side. Mm-hmm. And she's, like, she becomes like a what was the word? Not shaman. Not summoner.
Druid?
No. Not channeler. It's like some kind of spiritual person thing.
A banshee.
No. But she's like the representative of Gunnerkrigg Court, which is like the technology half of the world, and on behalf of them. And cool. She's like the only one allowed to go into the forest and like talk to the people there.
Neat.
And there's like gods and all kinds of crazy stuff happening there. And in Gunnerkrigg Court, there's another character who's her best friend, and like she's making robots, and she's always got like greasy hands, and she's in like coveralls, and she's just like the complete what you were talking about earlier, just masculine with
And to to be clear,
long hair and high heels,
like you guys get
but
this,
not even.
There's nothing wrong with there being a female being masculine. It's just it's not a feminine story arc, and it's just not. And I'm really glad that this has come out and it's been doing such a good job. I really hope to see more feminine hero stories that aren't just like oh gosh, I hope he's going to ask me out. Like that's not the extent of, I mean, that the male equivalent of that is I want a new toy, I guess. It's so basic, it's so weak, Like, yes, it's there and it's a thing, but come on. There's so much more we can do with it. Come on.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on Magus?
That's all I can think of.
I'm
trying to think about something about the transplants.
Oh, he did it so that he could tell if his body was going to reject, like people.
Yeah, I get that, but I think there was something a bit more to it. Okay, so he wanted to do it because he's tired of being immortal, right? And he's like, here, now you can have the curse of... Well, we'll trade curses. I'm going to die sooner, and you can have immortality. Do you think that will work, actually?
I can't tell. It seems like it. What do you think the curse wants from her?
Same thing any boy
curse.
wants.
What?
His curse?
Yeah, his curse, because he does that hand holding up thing. I want one thing from you.
Yeah.
And the last thing that it said is, everyone says, "Help me."
Yeah. So I think it'll be like you have to kind of be, the eternal helper kind of person.
Because whatever it is, she woke up on the wrong side of the operating table.
I don't think she's finished.
She's kind of... No, they're not. Or if they are, it's kind of like cliffhanger finished.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna kind of wake up and be like demigod, and that she's going to she's gonna just answer everyone's prayers. Because the curse was like I constantly
like another what's that pink-haired girl?
Yeah, don't answer that because that's a huge spoiler.
That's what this is for.
Yeah, but not for things that we're not talking about.
It's another Magus show.
Anyway, I was also gonna talk about that, but yeah.
Her whole thing with being a slave big is that she's fragile as hell. So if she gains immortality on top of that...
If she gets immortality...
What now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the question is she going to have, like, all this power still?
She'd be like Deadpool.
Or...
right. Feeling her death.
Is she still going to have a ton of power, or does that go with the death curse?
Ooh, I see what you're saying.
Which would also beg the question, does he want the death curse to... Or does he want the huge power? And then will he just come back to her to take his immortality?
Something? Yeah, wouldn't that be something if he took her slay bigginess?
I'm just going to borrow it.
I'm pretty sure he just wants to die.
I think so, too.
Well, that's what they've played up, but that was just an interesting thought. It's just like, oh, that would really suck. That's the last guy I want to have that.
Yeah. Sneeze and just like...
I've known Dio.
Like crystals come up out of everywhere. Dio didn't do anything wrong, though.
I know. All right, so what does that leave?
Dragon Ball Super Su.
We didn't do last week.
Nope.
Before that, Kokkoku.
Kokkoku.
Yes, that.
Yes. So 2 episodes. So boy, I'm confusing them.
It's okay. The dad's a scumbag.
Dad's a scumbag.
That's really all we need to say about it.
Yep. All right, next episode.
He plays his life like I play crappy D&D characters.
Yeah. Or Dokapon Kingdom.
The kid got a really cool power, and he took total... His power is that he takes credit for all the powers that he can.
And somehow manages to find his way out of bad situations.
God, the main female character is also reckless and dumb.
Yeah.
First she breaks the damn stone, crushes the thing with having no idea what's going to happen. Maybe they all would have all died. And it's like, but there's another way to get you all out. You know, I can high-five you out of here. Does it work on myself? Let me find out. What would have happened if it did, woman?
She said that she had tried it and she can't do it, but even still, like, if it had worked that one time, like, it was the moment where everyone's like, well, it can't get any worse. Here, high five.
I know the gun's not loaded, so I'm just going to pull the trigger at my head all day.
Yeah, why?
Just to prove I can.
So now the only way to escape, as far as we know, is high fives.
Though the lead into that is that the bad guy who wanted to kill them for a reason we don't know, his goal is to just see the future.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I'm kind of confused about that. If he freezes himself in stasis, or if he stays in stasis, then there will be no future. But if he freezes himself in out of stasis, then he won't be able to see the passage of time, right?
Right. So basically,
or will it just be a
basically what it amounts to, as it seems to me, is that so right now he's in stasis. He'll come out of stasis, and then he'll start and stop the super stasis, I'll call it, for the sake of it, reverse stasis.
Personal stasis.
Yeah. And in that amount of time, thousands of years will have passed, and then he can start real stasis and sort of look around. Oh, that's fascinating. Look at that. Maybe bring someone in with him. What's this thing over here?
You will be my mate.
Until eventually the world ends. And so then he'll get to see that, too. And he wants to see how human beings die out, and so then he'll be the last of his kind. And
I think he is the only of his kind right now.
At the moment, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird goal, but it's more weird that he's dead set on killing them after that's explained. And he's like, well, he wants to test his powers. Well, sure.
It's also kind of understandable because they're the only ones that can stop him.
Yeah. That was a good analogy with the mosquito. It's better to just kill the mosquito rather than believe it won't bite you.
Yeah.
If it tells you.
So now we have the son, or the
grandson,
nephew, whatever that is. He has the power now too. He can control the heralds, but not the main bad guy.
I don't know if he tried.
Yeah, he didn't.
He could feel him like a herald, but
yeah, and he can also sense everyone.
So do you think the dad's going to unlock some power?
He's probably got the...
I hope not.
No.
Just no. Maybe he'll unlock the power that saves the day.
That was like a please God no, not a I don't think so.
You know, I hope that he unlocks the leave power. Nothing changes besides he's gone.
The leave power.
Yeah. So anyways, they have the fight. The bad guy is just being beaten, and then he becomes weak. He eats the other bad guy that was being controlled.
That was hot.
And then sits down and talks, and it's like, I can get you out of here. And it's one of those WTF moments.
Yeah, why didn't
you
just do that like an hour ago when you were at, Hulk size?
It's like it seems like he
to test myself.
And I liked that, the grandpa's kind of like willing to believe anything, and it might be true. He seems to...
He's seen some stuff.
Yeah, he's seen some stuff. It seems like it's possible where he might be able to get him out with the Herald powers. But at the same time, a girl might be right, and he might be just completely bluffing. And why would you trust this guy? It's like, is this really neat?
Well, it's mostly why would you trust him?
Yeah. And so it was a neat ending. Like, are they going to trust him? Is it wise to trust him?
No.
So
it's unwise.
Really, they can't stop him anymore. They can't go back into stasis without the Master Stone.
That's true.
So once they're gone, they're out of his hair.
And once he leaves, he can't go back in.
So,
yeah.
I don't know how much that would matter to him, I guess. Does he need the stone or anything to go back into his, personal stasis?
He doesn't even know the extent of his powers. We sure as heck don't.
He can feel himself evolving. So, right?
Yeah. It's a weird ending, but it's about where we're at.
We'll see how it goes. So is this going to be a 12-episode anime? So episode 10, 2 more
probably, yeah. I don't see it going any further.
Nice.
Unless something completely out of nowhere happens.
Which has been happening a lot with this show.
Well, it's been like... there's been some unpredictable stuff, but there hasn't been any oh, hey, an army came.
Yeah.
We saw Elder Toguro. Or no, younger Toguro.
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. So, from that, we got one thing left, and that is Dragon Ball Super. Goku created a galaxy and ate it.
What?
Wait, what?
He created a whole galaxy underneath him. That's why even the Grand Priest was like, what the fuck? And they absorbed it.
What?
Didn't you guys pay attention? Shame on you.
Apparently not as much as you did, which is, normal, but...
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that happening.
Yeah, when he was going mastered Ultra Instinct, a whole galaxy appeared below him. And then he absorbed it. We're going good on login levels here.
Except not quite. That still stands alone, but okay, he absorbed a galaxy he created. And then that's why he was able to have white hair?
Shut up, that's why.
Possibly. That was a nice transformation.
I'm glad that they still have the little shimmery things. It's not as bad as as you described it from the... What was it? The next week episode? Or
screenshots.
Screenshots.
Yeah, I wasn't looking forward to this transformation. It was pretty good. It's better than Vegeta's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Vegeta's was just now I'm very blue.
I'll take it.
This episode seems to... I've read so many people flaming it. They really didn't like it.
Why?
Because it was just... But Goku's now just... This is dumb. This is dumb.
What?
That's the extent of the critique, as far as I'm aware.
As far as I'm aware, they're gay.
Well, maybe they are, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with liking the same genitals.
No, not homosexual gay.
Oh.
Stupid gay.
Well, then why didn't you say stupid?
Because it's a different type of stupid.
Okay. Sure. But
They
yeah,
ride motorcycles.
A lot of people just they didn't like that Jiren was so far out of reach, and now he just caught up to him because he decided to transform.
That's how Dragon Ball works.
But we got the extra transformations. We got two.
Have they been watching the show for the last 20 years?
Yeah, but here let me try to advocate their point a little better. When Goku went Super Saiyan, it took his best friend dying. When Gohan went Super Saiyan 2, it required some vague notion about how much faster half Saiyans can become strong for some reason.
And he watched a guy's head be crushed.
Well, and he trained with Goku for a year, or a little bit under a year. and maintain Super Saiyan at normal. And after all of this training and after everything else and basically being just a step beyond Goku, then that trauma came. It wasn't like he was just a normal person and then they crushed 16's head and he's just like Super Saiyan 2.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, one thing that I didn't like about this current arc is that I think the other Saiyans got Super and Super 2 way too easily.
I can understand Super Saiyan. But yeah, Super Saiyan 2, I didn't even, like I said earlier in an earlier episode, I didn't even realize that they went it, and it's just like, well, that's dumb. And they said, I'm gonna get Super Saiyan 3, and I was kind of like, are they gonna get it? Are they really gonna in this arc? And they didn't. They fused, which was cool, but that would have been kind of a bit much for me, so close after Super Saiyan 2 getting Super Saiyan 3.
Right.
And so now we're in the stages where we're literally creating galaxies, but we're getting there fast. You know, yeah.
So next episode, Jiren loses his shirt.
It looks weird.
It looks sexy.
My girlfriend said he looks like what was it? An alien caterpillar.
I didn't say that.
You're not my girlfriend.
Not a bad try, though.
We're still playing the game of Where's Frieza?
Oh.
That's popping up in a bunch of places I don't expect. Earlier I saw one that's, I don't eat at Subway anymore because what's with all these questions? Do you want cheese bread? What do you want, what kind of meat do you want? What kind of cheese do you want? How much do you weigh? Where's Frieza? Like, that was not the post I expected to see Frieza in, but...
You know, for this time...
Well, that's the idea.
For this time, I want Goku to just get a nice, clean win. I don't want any Frieza shenanigans. I don't want any Goku lost his UI at the wrong time and he fell, and then Frieza just, like, backshot at Jiren. I just want Goku just to get a nice, clean win.
Yeah, me too. I mean,
because this is the time for him to get
so
a nice,
much
clean
back
win.
and forth. It's just like, just get it over with.
I want Frieza to do something underhanded, and then Goku to eliminate Frieza, and Jiren be like, my brother, I respect you, and then jump off the ring.
I know the way.
I know.
Or a clean loss. Say...
How about they just go at each other?
Oh my.
How about they fight each other very hard?
Oh my. Very hard where?
God, I hate you guys. How about Goku and Jiren engage in fisticuffs extremely strongly, and they both kind of like I don't know, like
rub your fists together more.
I'm trying not to think of double entendres, but you're just gonna do it anyway.
You're just gonna stick it in wherever you see it.
How about they just fight each other to like almost a draw, and then time runs out.
Yeah.
But they win because Frieza's just been like standing around somewhere.
Yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen.
I don't like that. I'd rather just that Jiren dies. not dies, gets... Or, yeah, he dies.
Well, that would be a twist.
And Goku gets knocked out and they win because Frieza's just been standing around.
Oh, no, it doesn't matter. If you kill somebody, you're disqualified. He doesn't erase you, right?
No, it hasn't happened yet, has it?
No, it hasn't happened. They missed the chance.
So as far as we know,
they just
get disqualified.
Okay.
Now's the time. Or how about Frieza just kills? Steals the kill.
Just give Goku the clean win. This is the time to give him the clean win.
Yeah, it is.
We'll find out this week.
Yep. All right. So tune in next time for Dragon's Flow Teacast.
And if you have any questions or wish to leave secrets to be read on the air, you can send your messages to Teacast at thedragonstreasure.com. We'll see you next time.